Welcome to the Yanagida Podcast Show, episode 21, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with special guest Christine Spencer, who is the leader of the MOC2 and Alzheimer's in Maui, and our friend and supporter. And Christine, how did you get started in all of this?
I'm the regional coordinator for the Alzheimer's Aloha chapter here for Maui County. And I started about 2 years ago in this position, and doing the walk every year is something that the association has been doing for long before I joined. Alan has even been doing the walk before I was in this role as well. So I started about 2 years ago with the association, and it's been really fun to do this walk every year, in addition to all the different programs and services we have for caregivers and people living with Alzheimer's disease.
Mm-hmm. And we're curious, what initially piqued your interest into stepping into this role or with Alzheimer's?
Yeah, that's a good question. Before this job, I was working for the Research Corporation of the University of Hawaii, and I was actually on a federal grant where we were working with grandparents who are raising their grandchildren. So when I started that job, I was in that position for 4 years, and it really gave me the opportunity to work with, seniors in our community here, and just really learn so much from them. And that's when I really decided this is the demographic of people that I really want to work with in my job. And so the transition to moving into the Alzheimer's Association from that was just kind of a natural transition, and I get to still work with some amazing seniors in our community. So it worked out. I was lucky.
See, there you go. And, it's so crazy because speaking about when we initially started, it started because my friend's grandfather had Alzheimer's. This was 2010 and 11. And I actually did my first walk in 2010 with him.
Wow.
And it was just the effect that it was having on my friend and his family. It was the first time I've experienced it at that time, and I was like, oh man, like the emotional stress that it's having on the family.
Mm-hmm.
It was something just to experience, because I wasn't there all the time, and it just made me really think like, wow, we really want to support this. And right after that, a couple years after that, my grandfather had dementia, and so he had a hard time remembering. And it's really tough when we try to have them remember, and we're trying to help them remember, and they don't remember us. And it's nothing personal, and it's just what a gift, Christine, that what you guys are doing. And was there someone special to you in your life that was affected by Alzheimer's or dementia?
As of now, I'm fortunate enough to say not yet, but
Mm-hmm.
we still have some young people in my family. But really, for me, it is just the inspiration from the families you're talking about and what they go
Mm-hmm.
through every day, the emotional journey. It's also a very physical journey as well when you're taking care of somebody. So it's just exhausting, and I think they say that anybody could be a caregiver at any point in their life or need a caregiver. And so for me, we'll see when that journey comes. But really, it's every year the walk grows in numbers. And it's really because, yeah, it's a great event. It's a really fun event. But it's also because so many more people are being impacted every year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, it's becoming a bigger event, which is kind of the sad side of it. But it's
Mm-hmm.
also still a great way to get everybody together and share their experiences and show support for the cause. So yeah, great question.
Wow. And kind of going into that, what's happening this year with this whole pandemic going on, and what do you guys what's going on for the Alzheimer's walk this year?
Yeah, so it's definitely looking a little different this year. We usually meet at the park in Boys and Girls Club, and we have all the tents set up, and we walk about 2 miles in the park. But this year, since we just really want everybody to stay safe and we can't gather all together, the 3 elements for the walk this year will be really just getting with your friends and family and walking in your neighborhood, anybody who registers will get a free flag that they can hold that day. And so I'm
Mm.
really asking people to make that commitment to walk on October 17th, 2 miles, just like you would have done if we were all together at the park, and really show your support that way. So with your friends and families, planning your walk route and getting together to walk that day is a big part of it. We'll also do an online celebration. Folks can tune in at 9 a.m. And we have a couple of different ways that people can view the ceremony that will be streaming that day and hopefully throughout the weekend. And then the third way is to drive by our Promise Garden, which most of you folks remember all those flowers that we have every year. So this year we'll be setting it up for people to drive by and view. So they'll still get to have that element of the flower garden there and the Promise Garden. So those are the
Nice.
3 ways that people can join this year.
Okay, so wait, so for the flower garden, for those that don't know who's listening to this, where is the flower garden at?
So we're setting up the flower garden. It's going to be in front of Emmanuel Lutheran Church, which
Hmm.
is on Kahahumanu, and it's kind of in between Papa Avenue and the Queen K Mall. So they have this patch of grass that will be putting all of the different flowers up. And there's 4 different flowers that we have every year. Each color resembles something special and unique to the disease. So the orange flower, that's the flower I hold, and that's for people who really believe in the vision of the association of a world without Alzheimer's disease someday. So really hoping for the cure. That's the orange flower. The yellow flower is for caregivers, so anybody who's taking care of someone or a loved one with a disease. And then we have the blue flower. That's for anybody who has dementia or Alzheimer's disease. That's their color they get to hold. And then the purple flower is for anybody who lost somebody to the disease. And so a lot of people carry that flower. And then our very special flower is the white flower. And that's the flower we have Alan held for us, and we'll put the white flower up that day and we'll be thinking of her. And that's our flower for the future. It's our hope that one day there will be a cure, and that our walks will be full of white flowers instead of all these other colors someday. So that's really the meaning behind the Promise Garden and the color of the flowers that we'll be putting out that day.
Got it. White flower. I like it. White flower.
That's
Alan.
Alan, yes.
Always
Yeah.
so honored, but I also feel very unworthy to hold that flower. But I do feel really honored. This is like the 3rd year, I think, because we're fighting, right, for the first survivor, our white flower here. But yeah, I really appreciate everything that you folks do, Christine, and putting it together. It really means a lot to me, and it means a lot to our community too, to still have something for us to be a part of despite needing to social distance and amongst this like pandemic that we're all kind of going through right now. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Alan. I just have to brag a little bit about you because not only do you represent the white flower for us, and you've done so for so many years for hope in the future, but you also lead the way with your team, and you really help fundraise, and that means so much to us as well. And so you've really just been so supportive to our association, and we couldn't do it without you, Alan. That we just every year we come back and say, "Can you hold the white flower?" Because so much of the work we do, it affects families, and it's important to show that this journey is really common for so many people, and we really just want to find a way for people in the community to find each other and make those connections and really kind of get through it together.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really thankful to have people around me that kind of support the same vision that we do, like Justin, the Yanagida family, our family at our Lihikai Elementary School that, and our principal and administration that kind of allows us to sort of come together and support this cause and bring awareness to Alzheimer's and dementia and how it all kind of connects us in a sense. Because Maui is so small, that we're bound to know somebody that is a caregiver or does have dementia or Alzheimer's. So I'm really thankful to have a support group that will help lead the way with us.
Oh, thanks, Alan. And we're so thankful too for you guys and Yanagida Fitness. In my spiel about the walk day, you got to tune in to the online ceremony because we'll be getting a wonderful warm up that day as well, like we did last year. So we'll get pumped
Yes.
for our 2-mile walks
Mhm.
on October 17th. So we really appreciate that too. Thank you.
And where can people tune into that online stream? Is there a certain site?
Once they register, they'll get the platform. We call it the main stage where they can log in. We'll
Got it.
also send probably a Zoom link so people can watch it live, what we've prepared for them. And then we'll have it hopefully on a Kaku radio or television that day as well, putting that together. And then on our Facebook page, we're going to try to stream it and also just play it as much as we can. So hopefully plenty of ways that people can connect because this universe of technology, we just never know what to expect. So
yeah, what to expect nowadays. Every day is like, oh, I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, but maybe you guys will put the warm up on your page as well if people, want to do the warm up when they're getting ready to walk. Maybe it's not right at 9 a.m. So yeah, so hopefully everybody will warm up before they walk that morning.
Yeah, we have a team that's helping us plan a route starting at Yanagida Fitness. And so Coach Carol and Coach Shannon, thanks for helping plan this because they're also affected by Alzheimer's too. Their families have been affected by Alzheimer's. So I'm really thankful for them.
It's amazing. Me too. Yeah. I can't wait to see all the photos of you guys walking.
Oh man. Yeah, it's exciting. And what are some of the details now about the gym walk to 2 miles?
So we're gonna meet here at Yanagida Fitness at 7 a.m. We'll do just kind of gather everyone together. We'll do a warm up, of course, and then around 7:10, 7:15 or so, we still got a social distance, so we're still gonna be wearing masks. We're tie-dyeing masks, just to stay with the theme of the pandemic, but still kind of having unity too. We're gonna go to Eha. We're gonna go up Eha towards Maui Disposal. We're gonna cross the street to the post office and then come back down Eha and then cross the street again by the Wailuku Community Center and then head back to the gym. So it's about 2 miles too.
Awesome.
Dang.
Yeah, we're gonna release people to make sure that we're still social distancing, but we're still together. Social distance, but together.
Right.
I
and
like
the tie-dye masks.
And the tie-dye masks and people are probably listening and the questions in their brain is, where does Alan get this motivation or this desire to be part of Alzheimer's for? Where is this from, Al, for those that don't know?
Well, right now, my grandma on Maui, she is living with dementia, and thankfully, I can still spend time with her. A lot of our conversations are the same, and she asks me the same things, but it's okay, because I still get to spend time with her, and I still, get to have those conversations with her. But it's really difficult, to see people that you love sort of. It's just very different. Taking care of them. But I'm very thankful that I also have family that helps take care of her too, that live at home with her. And then my grandpa, who had passed away about 4 years ago now, towards the end, he had Alzheimer's as well. And then my grandpa on Kauai, he also has dementia. So, but for right now, they remember me. I know that there are some families where their loved ones don't remember them. Oh, I'm gonna start crying, sorry. And so right now I'm glad that I still get to have conversations with them, whether it's over the phone or in person, that they still remember me for right now. And I'm gonna cherish that time with them, Oh, why'd you ask me that? That's a normal thought.
Oh
So
man.
brave of you to share. And it's so many
Yeah.
people, it's heartbreaking, it's really heartbreaking when this happens to families, and the person you love may not recognize you, and it's really sad. It's hard to go through. But we do say, a lot of times they remember that you're important to them. And even if they don't know your name, just to still make that connection like you're doing and never give up. And because, they're still there with us, and we've got to keep connecting. So yeah, Alan, thank
So
you.
true. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
thank
sharing.
you.
And it makes me remember my last memory with my grandfather in the Yanagida side. This was 2016, or was it 16 or 17? No, it was 16. And when we flew up, he didn't remember. He had a hard time remembering my father, and he didn't remember me for a little bit until we were able to jog his memory a little bit, and he remembered. And as soon as he remembered, it was such a great moment. Like, I'll always remember, he was in his wheelchair, and he just looked at me like, Shinchi, Shinchi, Shinchan, and he's like, oh, I remember, in Japanese. And he started crying, and he's like, oh my gosh, because I hadn't seen him for 7 years. He's like, wow, you look so different, and this, and this. And we just had a good time. We had we had a dinner with him, and my father, we're all singing karaoke, because he used to love singing karaoke, and it was such a good time. And I remember feeling just how lucky I felt that he remembered me. Um, and just a couple months later, he passed away after that. And yeah, just like what you're saying, Al. There's some times where they don't remember at all, and I can't imagine, because that must be tough. It was tough that he was able to remember a little bit, and I was like, wow, I'm just so grateful. And on my mother's side, the Nada side of the family, my grandfather has slight, what do you call that? Beginning forms of like dementia, Alzheimer's. He will, like what you're saying, say the same story over and over again. And at the same time, before I would think, wow, he's saying the same thing. But now it's like, you know what? He really wants to impart this story about his perseverance and how he got rejected 16 times to become a professional singer in the NHK, which is one of the biggest news stations in Japan. And he would always tell me that story of perseverance and never give up, and work hard, and if you're not talented, work, and all these things. And he would tell me the same story every single day. He would sit me down after lunch for 1 hour, and I would listen. And it's just, what a blessing. And wow. So that's why, Christine, this is such a great thing that, you and your team and everybody in the community that contributes is doing, because there's a lot of people probably having a hard time and staying silent about it. Some people don't know where to go. Some people don't know if it's okay to talk about. And so this is such a great thing that, Walk to End Alzheimer's is doing. And on that note, what would you say, Christine, is some of the lifestyle choices that may improve or, may help some of these people? Are there any things, or food, nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, that new research is coming out? Because I know we're trying to always look at new research too, but there's something that recently came out within the last few years.
Well, the four main pillars the association has a lot of good research on. The first one overall is physical activity and exercise, which is good. Good to know if you're friends with Yanagida Fitness, because you'll be getting that in your life.
Right here, fighting
There we go.
sickness.
Exactly. So that's where we have kind of the most research about lifestyle changes. they collected a lot of different data from other countries. So this has been globally going on and looking at the simple lifestyle choices of just exercise and diet, and how that can really, we don't know that it can prevent the disease yet. Of course, it's a correlation, but they do know that people that are getting a lot of exercise, they may, have a cognitive decline later than people who may not. And so really exercise is one of the top of the 4 pillars. And then it's diet. And for diet, it's very similar to what we hear. The association promotes like the DASH diet and the Mediterranean diet. So I'm sure you could speak on it way better than I can, all the nutrition that's important, but it's very similar to a lot of other things out there. And then staying mentally stimulated and cognitive activity, and staying socially engaged. Those are the 4 main lifestyle things that could optimize your brain health.
And I'm curious, for the mental and the cognitive side, is there certain activities that they recommend or higher chance of stimulation?
Yes, there are. And a lot of people think, if they do a crossword puzzle every day, they're going to really have good brain health. And that is good for you. But the thing you want to think about when you're exercising your brain is it has to be kind of challenging. It has to engage your problem solving skills. So if you're doing the same thing every day, you're probably pretty good at it. So they recommend trying new things. Education is one of the best things that they say for long-term brain health is formal education. So whether you take a class or you take a lesson to learn a new instrument or something like that, those kind of activities are more higher quality brain health activities. So classes and learning. And then, the crossword puzzle is good too, but if it's something you're really good at, you might need to change it up.
I like that. So challenges, things that challenge us, and then education, just keep learning stuff.
Learning.
I really like that. Wow.
Yeah, the education's good because it forces us to use our brain by reviewing information and retrieving information, and it gives it a good stretch. If our brain's like a muscle and we have to recall information for classes, that can really help give it a protective, layer. So.
I like that. And, people listening are probably like, so Christine, what would you say that you do on a daily or like weekly basis to upkeep your energy and your health and stuff like that? People are probably curious, like, oh, what does Christine do?
I know, right? Because I have to talk about it a lot, so I've got to try. I stay physically active as I can, and always, have people to work out with and hold accountable for your workouts and stuff. I think that's great. So I'll try to do that. I play some tennis here and there when I can, and just walking is also something I try to do on a daily basis. But for diet, there's a lot of things I like to eat that aren't on the list of things that are good for your brain health. So I try to start small, and I'll just do something, Monday through Thursday. I'll have, a regimen, more regiment diet, and then give myself some leniency. But right now I enrolled in some free classes online. It's called a website called Coursera. And so I'm taking a class at night, and you just really get to work at your own pace. So I try to do a little bit of all 4 of those things.
I like that. Alan, what do you do?
What do I do? I work out.
Yeah.
I work out. I like to do, I guess it's kind of similar to crossword though. I like to do Sudoku.
Oh yeah.
I like the paper and stuff. Yeah. Pretty much all I do. Make sure I eat, the 80-20 rule, right? Eat well 80% of the time, and the 20%. I mean, you obviously don't go ham on the 20% still, but can treat yourself a little bit on the 20%.
Yes, I remember Justin, when you came and taught a class for us, or you spoke about diet and exercise, and really what you were talking about with the diet was really basically the same thing that that we promote. You have a really good way of explaining it to people, like the 80-20
vegetables. Yeah. My mentor would tell me that if it was grown on the earth or grazed the earth, it's usually good to go. Pretty
Makes sense.
simple rule.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, and for those listening, grocery shopping is typically simple. If you go to any food store to pick up groceries, the aisles are where all the healthy, fresh stuff are at. So as soon as you walk in, to your left and to your far right are usually where your fruits, vegetables are, and then at the very far back is your poultry, chicken, fish, seafood, all that stuff. And then everything in the middle is consisting of a few companies that own everything. Nabisco, Oreos, all of these companies, and they're all heavily processed. And that's the crazy thing. They're really only owned by maybe half a dozen companies. It could be a little bit more or even less. But yeah, outside perimeters, get the fruits, veggies, your fish, chicken, whatever you like to eat. And that should be the majority. And the minority should be like the fun foods, right? The fun foods.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
middle aisles. Yeah,
The middle
I like how
aisles.
you described that. Yeah.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean, it's great too. Just like what you're saying, walking is a great way to exercise and get some blood flow, get some more oxygen to our body, our brain, our muscles. And this is crazy, but to be honest, when I first started doing this, there were times where I was only working out maybe twice a week, sometimes once a week doing exercise. And I wouldn't put it in my schedule or I just didn't commit to it. And then I realized I was like, wow, why am I feeling so sluggish? Why am I feeling, and it's crazy because it's 22 at the time. And I'm like, wow, I shouldn't be feeling like this at 22. And so started working out, doing stuff, and now it's just part of life to do something 7 days a week. And whether it's something easy, something hard, something medium, find something that you enjoy. I hear a lot of people that will have a exercise regimen of maybe 3 days a week, and then the other 2 or 3 days they like to play golf or play tennis or go to the beach, surf, whatever it is. Exercise is just great.
What's your favorite, or how about top two exercises, Justin, that you like to do?
Yeah.
Top two
I didn't know
exercises.
what's one of them.
It's got to be the jujitsu, martial arts. For those for those listening, jujitsu is a martial art. It's primarily a grappling martial art, and it's really fun. It's always challenging. You're always learning new things. It's a great way to keep yourself humble too, and just always learning and get to use that creativity side of the brain. The second one, ooh, okay, this is crazy, but I like resistance training, whether that's with kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells, body weight. But then I also do like cardio. Not doing it, but after the feeling I get, it's really good.
Yeah.
For instance, that's where you get that typical runner's high, where, like, for instance, today I went running. I just did a quick, easy mile. It came back, and I felt a lot better than before that mile. I mean, and for those listening, it could be as simple as a 1 mile walk. It can be a, yeah, 15, 20-minute walk, and that'll be good to go. You get your blood flow, and then gradually shorten the time if possible. And for anybody listening who, let's say we've trained clients who are 300-400 pounds, in personal training or in group settings too, and we recommend to start with walking just because it's easy on the joints, drink a lot of water, and just by removing a lot of the processed Pop Tarts and Oreos and all the good stuff, the weights should start coming off without getting too crazy. And nutrition should be simple. There's some people who like to really complicate exercise and nutrition, and like, in my experience, the best people are practitioners and people who practice and do it every day, know how to make things simple.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what is your favorite type of exercise, Al? That was a good question.
You already know what my favorite exercise is that a lot of people don't like, but I like to do burpees. It's the 3 Bs at the gym. I like burpees, battle ropes, and ball slams. Those are my three probably favorite exercises to do at the gym. I am not a big fan of running. However, I know that I need to, and thankfully I have a dog right now that helps me stay moving on the weekends, especially on Sundays. It's my day off, but yeah.
Love dogs. I'm a dog guy. You a dog person, Christine?
I am. I have a little
See?
13-year-old
Dogs.
society rescue from Maui for a couple of years now.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
13.
13. I got her when she was
That's
9.
great.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. Love dogs. They're like the best. You just go away for 1 minute to take out the trash, and then they're crazy to see you. So happy you're back. You know, it's like the best thing ever. Dogs, they're such a gift. And so, you know, it's just crazy going off the topic on talking about dogs.
Well, you know what? We usually have at least 6 to 10 dogs walking every year. I don't know if you guys remember, but last year people brought their dogs to the walk. So
That's right.
they're definitely part of it. And you can, you know, put your dog in some purple gear on October 17th.
There you go.
Take them with you.
That's actually a good idea. Have a little dog walk a couple miles. She's getting a little chunky. 11 years old, Shih Tzu, cute little thing. But yeah, she's getting chunky. Too much treats and snacks and table food. Mom. So going into the last couple questions, Christine, if you could go back, we like asking this. If you could go back to yourself as an 18-year-old, what would you tell yourself? What kind of advice would you give yourself?
Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting a question
18.
like this. Let me think. 18.
Yeah. What were we doing at that time?
So I guess I was graduating high school. I really wasn't sure where I wanted to go to college. I think for me at that time, my dad, he had lost his business. So we couldn't really afford to pay for college. So I kind of had to either go where I had a scholarship or just kind of decide to go when I could get a job and pay for it myself. And so I think at 18, I was really worried that I wasn't going to do the right thing and make the right decision. And I think I would have just told myself, like, it'll be okay, whatever you decide, as long as you still pursue school in some way. You don't have to fit the timeline that, you know, everybody else is. Like, you know, I thought I just had to go straight into college, like all my friends, but that really wasn't working out for me in certain ways. So I actually didn't go back to college until I was 24. And I just felt like I appreciated and learned so much. So I think back then, though, at 18, I was so stressed thinking, oh, if I don't go to the right school and if I don't go now, then, you know, I'm not going to, you know, be successful. But really, that's not the case. Like, you just have to go with, you know, the path that's yours and not worry about what everybody else is doing. So I think probably that advice would be just kind of trust the journey a little bit, and don't worry that you're, you know, not going to make the right decision, as long as you still stick to, you know, pursuing that education. So I guess that would be it. I'm glad I'm not 18 anymore. I'll tell you that.
What would you say, Al, to your 18-year-old self right out of high school?
I think give myself a little bit more grace and understanding. I think and not be so, I think, harsh on myself. Maybe that's still, you know, advice I would still give myself now, but especially then, you know, being young and away from home. I went to school up in Spokane, Washington at Whitworth. So I think I would have just told myself to be more forgiving of myself and not so harsh all the time. Branch out more too.
I love that. Great advice.
Good advice, yeah.
What about you, Justin?
Well, I'd tell myself to be open to other people's ideas more, because at that time I didn't think anybody could relate with me because of all the pain I went through. And you wrap your head around all these things, your ego starts perking up, and that people do want to help you, that committing to things is a good thing, responsibility is a good thing. Because at that time I wanted to not have any responsibility. I was that 18-year-old lying in bed, was like, you know what? I don't want any responsibility, no job. I don't want anything. I just want to like, I don't even want to go to school. And it was such a hard time at 18, just feeling like, oh man, being junk at school, not knowing. And I was like, man, and I dropped out of college right after, but I would say responsibility, committing to things, and allowing other people to help me out. Because that was a big insecurity at that time, was allowing people to get close enough to me to see that I needed help. So that would probably be it. Responsibility is good. So, Christine, last question. What does fighting sickness with fitness mean to you when you hear that or see that? What does that mean, fighting sickness with fitness?
Well, I have read the book, so there are many things, in there.
Yes. What
But
stuck out to you?
what?
What stuck out to you?
I think what I like the most is thinking about how to really fight sickness in holistic ways, like trying to really exercise instead of reaching for, the over the counter or the pill or the drug or something that to fix it. And so that's kind of what I really took away from all the tips, is you make it tangible for people to really build it into their lifestyles. But that's what I like, there are holistic solutions and really kind of, healthy ways to do things. And so that I think that's what it would be, is just like finding more holistic approaches as much as we can.
Finding more holistic approaches. Dang, that's it. Fighting sickness. And people are curious. People are curious. When are you going to start working out with Yanagida Fitness?
Me. Oh,
we went
wow.
there.
You guys, you do so much for me. I know I've got to get over there and do some sweating and work it out.
Yeah, there's a free 2 weeks, half a month. Check it out. Anybody listening, there's a free 2 weeks. Hit us up, yanagidafitness.com. And for those curious about the Alzheimer's, and if they want to learn more about you, Christine, where can they find you at?
Yeah, we've got a great local website for everybody. You just go to alz.org/Hawaii, and that's got all of our different classes and programs and info on the walk. And then we have a 1-800 number that's 24/7. It's a helpline, so anybody can call, whether you are a caregiver or you see something in your family member you're concerned with, and that's 1-800-272-3900. It's available all day, all night, all year long.
Dang, there we go. And for those that want to register for the Alzheimer's event, what was the website again? Is it that same website you just mentioned, if they want to register?
For the event, it's just act.alz/Maui Walk. So
perfect.
Yeah, and if you go onto the Hawaii website, it should lead you there too. But yeah, we're excited to see more people register. I know you guys have got an awesome team going over there, Yanagida Fitness. So we'll see. You guys might have the most people on your team and get a sweet prize, because you're really leading the way there. So so thanks to everybody who's registered already. And we hope that, over the next 2 weeks, we'll get more people to join us.
See, and that's what it's all about. Collaboration. And Christine, I want to thank you, and Alan, thanks for hopping on as well. And Christine, thank you again for coming on the podcast. Was there anything else you want to share with us or the audience listening?
Just really, a huge mahalo, because this event it's a collaboration of so many different people. From my volunteers on the walk committee, we've got 20 volunteers who work on this event all year long, from getting fundraising and sponsorships, to all of the people like you guys, Yanagida Fitness and Alan, who support us every year and walk with us and really raise a lot of awareness to us and the community, which is really important for this event. And so just a really a big thank you, because it's such a big effort on behalf of so many people, this walk every year, and we really appreciate each and every person who dedicates their time to our mission and our vision to fight this disease. So my last words would just be a huge mahalo to everybody.
Dang, Right back at you, Christine. Thank you so much for doing this. And, Al, is there anything you want to drop before we end this?
Okay, well, for our not Lihikai, well, yes, for the Lihikai fam too. Sorry, for the Lihikai went out there too. But we have a Lihikai surfers team as well. If you're kind of a part of our Lihikai community, we're going to be taking a walk around our campus. So thank you to all like the teachers and staff and the families and our administration for kind of helping us out with that. And our Yanagida one, of course. So you can find us at the act.alz.org/go/Yanagida Fitness and join our team.
Dang, awesome. And guys, thank you guys all so much for listening. We will have all of the websites and all that in the description, so you guys can just click on it or copy and paste, make it as simple as possible. If you're listening to this, register, and we will see you there. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen listening and tuning in, thank you guys all so much. Christine, Alan, thank you for hopping on the show. Until next time, stay healthy and keep on fighting sickness with fitness.